Wagwan guys, I just checked my Upwork earnings and I saw something that actually made me smile. You know, 3 clients who started as one-time projects have now paid me monthly retainers worth over $800 to $3,500 each over the years. But that almost never happened because I was making one stupid mistake that actually cost me dozens of potential clients. You know, I was once frustrated about losing another big project. The client seems to love my portfolio. We had great conversation on Zoom and then they ghost me. This happened like 5 times within like a 2-month period. You won't believe what one client actually told me that actually completely helped me shift my perception, which actually jazzed up my chance of winning jobs on Upwork more simply by how I actually approach Upwork payment request, not after doing the work in my proposal. I will share that in a bit. But before that, let me review something that most Nigerians don't ever realize about client psychology on Upwork. You see, I used to apply for big Upwork projects, bidding for the total amount I want or see on the project. For example, if I see a project is $2,000, I also bid $2,000. Or if I feel that that is the amount that will be worth it for me to execute the project, I'll just bid that $2,000 upfront. What I didn't know was that the client will have to fund Upwork escrow with that full amount, which might actually be a big commitment for a start. Think about it. You are a complete stranger to this client. Would you hand over $2,000 to someone you just met online? Of course not, right? But subconsciously, that is what we freelancers expect clients to do. When Upwork gives you that option to charge the full project amount or break it down into milestones, most freelancers just click on using the full payment option and wonder why nobody actually responds to their proposal. So, you know, milestones are not just for splitting payments. They actually help you build trust gradually with each of your prospective clients. Each milestone actually gives the client the convenience and flexibility of putting money for you in Upwork escrow, waiting for you to deliver, to execute on the project, that small part of the project. When you complete that, you hit submit for payment and then the client review it and release those funds to you. You don't wait until the entire project finishes to get paid. You know, in case of maybe scam or maybe the client is difficult to work with or you have some technical issues that will not make you to be able to execute the project, you guys can just call it a day, maybe like at $200 instead of the client already paying $2,000 and then you have to refund $1,008. That is negatively going to affect your account if you are refunding such a large amount. So also using milestone actually helps to mitigate against having to refund. So each milestone pays out separately, usually 5 days after client's approval. You know, Upwork releases payments faster to top freelancers, top rated, expert vetted freelancers. You know, beginners, don't worry, you're actually going to get there if you keep learning. So let me tell you about one of my old clients, Kat. I'm not calling her full name. She contacted me, you know, probably thinking that it should just be a one-off project, maybe $400. Instead of asking her for all the money up front, I did something that actually completely changed our relationship. I structured it as weekly milestones. So I said, first week, pay me $100. Second week, pay me $95. Third week, pay me $90. Fourth week, pay me $75. And that was how we ran. Do you observe what I did here? Did you notice what happened here? Did you? You did? Okay. The price actually goes down over time until it gets steady. This isn't just about breaking the payment, it is a psychology. You know, I'm literally rewarding her for sticking with me long term. Kat loved this approach so much that she actually worked with me for about a 2 years period or thereabout. You know, the reason that this actually works is very simple. We understand hustles as freelancers, but sometimes we forget clients are actually very scared. They've actually either been burnt before or heard of maybe freelancers doing all sorts of shady things. Do you understand? So these clients are also skeptical. Some freelancers actually may have taken their money and maybe like delivered rubbish and they had issues getting back their money, refund and all those kind of things. Then some don't actually know how Upwork works. Some are not aware that when they pay Upwork, it's an escrow. They just think that, okay, when they pay Upwork, Upwork has paid you. So they are scared that you can take their money and not do the job. So they are not actually difficult. They are just being smart in their own way. So when you break a project of, say, $2,000 into 8 milestones of $250 milestone, suddenly it becomes more manageable, and the client will think, okay, if this person messes up, I will only lose $200, not $2,000, everything, But there is still something that can actually be improved with the example of milestone strategy I gave just now. They break $2,000 into equal payment. That is not just boring, it is predictable and doesn't incentivize the client to continue, like the initial strategy I talked about. But don't worry, stay with me. I'm going to talk about even heightening the initial strategy I talked about. So instead, you should actually try something like structuring to what I actually called loyalty discount ladder. Start higher, then reduce the amount with each milestone. So for example, like the $2,000 project, do like the first one for about maybe like a $600, then the second one for $550, then the third for $450, then $400, and stay on that $400. So now, when do you use full project payment versus a milestone? Anything over $800, if the project I'm bidding for is over $800, in my own opinion, I would break it down into milestone. I would not want a client to commit $800 to me for the first time I'm working with them. And anything that is under $300, yes, charge the full amount. And I know what you're thinking. So what happens if it's an amount between $300 and $800? Then that actually depends on the client and the project timeline, or what works for you. You understand? You can use your discretion. Most freelancers think that milestones are actually just about money. Smart milestone structuring actually shows that you understand the work process. How? For example, most freelancers set their Upwork milestones as something like milestone 1, $500. So from a client perspective, that actually tells nothing deep. Do you understand? Such freelancers just lose one more place to actually show that they understand the client's need. A smarter milestone structure I actually recommend is to do something like saying milestone 1, research and strategy document, $600. Then you say something like maybe like milestone 2, first draft with 3 concepts, $500. Then milestone 3, final version with unlimited revision, $400. I guess you already see how this actually tells a better story. Another example is if a client needs maybe like a 4 videos, don't structure it as 1 milestone per video. Like you can say, instead of doing that, you can say scripting storyboard for all videos. And for your first milestone, you can also say something like maybe my milestone 2, first 2 videos complete. Then milestone 3 can be maybe like the final 2 videos with revision. Do you understand? This actually shows you are actually thinking strategically, not just churning out content. Do you understand? If you're finding this video valuable so far, so please smash that like button. That's one way to show you appreciate it, because what I'm about to share next with you will completely change how you think about your client relationship on Upwork. Remember that gist I actually promised to tell you about when I started this video? Sometimes ago, I was competing for a $1,500 project. I saw a bid range of other freelancers. When you are on Freelancer Plus, you see that. So I see how high they are bidding. And that is because most of them are bidding on this fixed price contract at the full amount. They are not breaking it down into milestones. So I structured mine as $400 discovery and concept phase, $600 design development, then $300 revision, then $200 final and for the source file and all those kind of things. Then the client actually, in one of our meetings, after we've worked for like I think 2-3 months or thereabout, one said like we're just having a casual conversation, and then she said like, oh, she likes the way I structured my payment, that it actually made it easier for her. Like she was actually very skeptical about the payment. I know this is not the story of every single client on Upwork, but hey, most clients are actually like that, at least the ones I have interacted with. You know, we actually laughed about it, but that actually hits home for me. So if you are, the psychological trigger here is what people that are actually into marketing actually call progressive commitment. Once someone commits to pay you once, paying you again becomes maybe automatic or more convenient. Here is something I rarely hear anybody talk about: how to present these milestones in your proposal. Don't just list them. You can even take them a bit further by telling a story with each milestone. And I know most freelancers are too lazy to do this. So these are some of the things I say that when you do them, it stands you out from every other freelancer bidding for that project, provided the client gets to see your proposal. The client will just know that, oh, this person is different. For example, instead of just saying milestone 1, research and planning, $500, you can say something like, oh, milestone 1, I will understand target audience and competition, delivering a comprehensive strategy document that becomes our roadmap for success. So you are going into a deeper detail of what you do, then you put the amount. Do you understand what I'm saying? I know you actually see the difference in the two that I just explained now. You do, right? So one actually just sounds like, okay, tax, which is not bad, while the other actually sounds like you're actually giving more value or breaking down the exact value that the client is going to get. Then remember, when you are doing anything on Upwork, you need to think about it from the perspective of the client getting value. Do you understand? So for Nigerian freelancers specifically, we need to understand that this strategy would actually help you, because like we can't shy away from the fact that some clients are actually reluctant or don't want to work with African freelancers or Philippines, Pakistan, and all that. Do you understand? So breaking it down into smaller chunks like this actually reduces the risk or the perceived risk for the client and gives you multiple opportunity to prove your worth. So I always suggest that you deliver slightly more than you promised in your first milestone. If you promised, for example, let's say one YouTube video, deliver it with a complimentary thumbnail, maybe a description, or any complimentary service you can add. This actually makes the client excited to continue working with you. You know, after completing each milestone or some milestones, you need to also do something like asking for casual feedback in your conversation from the client, because by the end of the project, you would already have many positive touch points, not just one final review. That way, you are likely to get a 5-star review in your final review. So start applying this strategy when writing your next big job proposal on Upwork. So if this video actually helped you see Upwork differently, I have a lot of other videos here that will be very helpful to you. So please show appreciation by hitting the like button, and you can also show your appreciation by commenting. Then if you're interested in joining my Upwork WhatsApp group, you can also show interest in the comment section. And don't forget that no single video can actually teach you all there is to know about Upwork in details. In short, 3 videos, 4 videos won't teach you all. So you can check out my other videos here to learn more about Upwork. I would see you in the next video. Bye-bye.